Hi everyone, it's Margaret with Creative Stamping with Margaret. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator, and today I'm sharing with you one of the gift tags from the November 2023 class, and we are using the Merriest Trees bundles to create this tag. A fellow demonstrator that comes to my card classes and is a team member on my Playtime with Paper Team, she designed this particular tag, and she assisted me in the class this month presenting the tags. The theme for this month's class was Christmas and more, and we did 2 Christmas cards because we had a previous class that focused only on cards and tags, and we had 4 different tag designs, and this is one. So the materials you're going to need are, you will need the tree stamps, both the large and then the overlay, the We Wish You a Merry Christmas, and then if you want to stamp your stump, you'll need the little wood grain piece. You could just take and clip a piece of the either pecan pie, but here on this case I've used crushed crumb cake, and then I stamped it in crumb cake. And then you're going to need the gift stamp that has the little bows, the oblong, as you see here, to stamp that. The coordinating dies that you're going to need are just the two for the tree. There's the three tier, and then there's the largest one. So those are the 2 dies that you will need for doing that. Inks, we're using Real Red, Parakeet Party, Shaded Spruce, and Crumb Cake. And of course, you could change those colors up to other greens, Old Olive and Mossy Meadow, or a beautiful combo too, but we decided to go with the brighter green colors. And then you will need basic white, and for this we used thick basic white. It just gives us a little bit more stability. You could also, if you wanted to use basic white, cut 2 pieces, stamp 1, and then take the other piece and put it over the back, and that would also cover that little stump. But I thought that was no big deal, but that's just another thing that if you wanted to do. And then a piece of scrap crumb cake, and then I just brought in another little scrap of paper in case I needed additional for stamping the gifts. Now, if you have a stamp positioner, such as the Stamparatus that Stampin' Up used to offer, or if you have a Misty or one of the other brands of stamp positioners, I recommend you use that for stamping this, just because this is a large, solid stamp, and it just makes it a little bit easier when we go to stamp it. Ink and stamp that. And you'll notice I have an extra large piece of the white. If you ordered a kit to go from me, you will receive it as such, and this will give you room to stamp your tree, and then room, you can flip it and stamp the second tree because you receive materials to make 2 of these tags, or you can just stamp it and then use the other side to stamp the We Wish You a Merry Christmas sentiment. So the first thing we want to do is we want to stamp our tree base, and we're doing that with our Parakeet Party. And as you see, I have a little splotch there, but that is going to be covered. But I just like to re-ink and do a second stamping just to even that out a little. And I have a little tool that I use to help press, but I did not pull that out. So I'll just do it by hand. Now we'll pull in our shaded spruce. And since I'm through, I'm going to remove this panel. And we'll ink this overlay stamp with our shaded spruce. And I think you're getting only my arm, but in the video, but hopefully there. So we have that. You can remove. Pull these to the side. Come back in, and I'm going to go ahead and stamp my sentiment, and I'm using Real Red. Now we will place this on our cutting plates so that we can cut this with our die cutting machine. And I like to use a little bit of washi to hold my dies in place to make sure that I don't lose where I position them. And I'm going to rotate this so that I can get this one. This is a tight fit, but I want to make sure that I get the words Merry Christmas in there. And what I'm basically doing is looking at the top of the W there, and then from that I'm just turning and twisting this a little till I see I've got the S or the C and the S of Christmas. It may snip a little, but it won't be very much. It'll still be, most of it will be on there. And see, even though it looked like it would cut off part of that, if you look at the back of your die, you will see that there's a little bit of an edge there. So that's why it did keep all of that together. And then I have enough scrap left here to stamp some packages if I wish with that. We can go ahead and place the We Wish You a Merry Christmas onto the tree, and I'm using Stampin' Dimensionals to hold that on to the back of our larger tree. And in the stamp set and the dies, there are some coordinating dies that go with some of the gifts. I did not find one for this oblong gift, so we're just going to fussy cut that. If there's one in there, obviously you can use it, although sometimes when you're doing just lined pieces like that, it's just as quick to grab your paper snips. So I'm going to stamp using the shaded spruce. I'm going to stamp one of the green packages. Ahead of time, I did the red just so that this video would not go so long and you sort of get the idea of doing how to stamp it. So I'm going to go ahead and adhere these presents onto the back, put adhesive on the back and adhere them to the lower portion of the tree. And I'm not using dimensionals on these. I will use a dimensional to pop up the green one that we're going to do. So here is our package. I just love this shaded spruce. This green is such a pretty green, so vibrant, and it goes great with this parakeet party. See how easy it is just to use your paper snips to cut these. I think that's faster than me lining it up and making sure that I have the dies placed correctly. And we will place one dimensional on that and overlay those presents. And then if you want, you can take, and I've misplaced the stamp for the tree. Let's see if I left it in the... No, I don't see it. But anyway, I already prepared it ahead of time, and I must have moved it when I was arranging things on my desk. It's not that big a deal. You know how to just take your crumb cake, and if you want the wood grain, you will stamp that. It is a small little stamp, so you'll put that down. As I said, there is a die, but I recommend that you just go ahead and cut that. And then I'm going to place a little bit of adhesive. You could use the pointed end down if you wanted, but I wanted it just squared off. And we'll just align that right behind the middle of the tree. And then if you've got the retired Stampin' Up! Hand punch, bring that out to punch your hole at the top, or just use any, other punch that you may have. I think a lot of us in our desk have a hole punch that we use, and then they're right above that point. And then for this, I'm using the real red ribbon, which is part of a bundle, and you'll find that bundle of ribbon in the annual catalog, and it is the real red and burlap ribbon combo. Of course, there are lots of other ribbons. A white baker's twine would look great in here as well. So you look through your ribbon stash and see what ribbons or baker's twines you have and use those. So we just feed that through. Now we have our Merriest Tree tags to put on our Christmas gifts. This is Margaret Knight with Creative Stamping with Margaret. Thanks for joining me today. Be sure to look in the description of this video. You'll find a list of all the materials used. And if you would like my video and subscribe to my channel so that you will get notified whenever I post additional videos. Have a great day.